Now, walking my Glamp site right now, I realize there's a lot of things I didn't expect to pay for. And of course, they're not cheap. So I'm trying to think of how I can help my viewers, and hopefully subscribers if you're subscribed, to help save some money and be better prepared for some of these things that are gonna come up. So I decided to talk about 5 unexpected things you're not gonna be expected to pay for at your glamping site, but you are gonna pay them.
Nice flippin' choice.
Now, some of these you may not even have to deal with, especially if you're smart on how you buy and some of the things you prepare first. I, on the other hand, made a couple mistakes.
Just love chaos, see chaos coming and
say, bring it on, I'm ready for you.
One thing I knew I was gonna have to pay for, but I didn't really realize how much it was exactly gonna cost, was putting this big old road right here going to one of my property sites, all the way back to my automatic gator. Now, this is about 200 feet of a crushed limestone rock base. I don't know, I'm not a rock expert, so don't quote me on this, but this is about $5,000 to do all this work, bring in a bunch of different dirt loads. Now, a lot of people probably don't even consider that they're gonna have to do some type of road to get back to where your site is. And the better the road you have, your guests are gonna be way happier. One review and complaint that I see on a lot of other glamp sites that I was doing research on was talking about how hard the road was to get back and how some people would need a Jeep or a truck or something like that. You want to be able to make it accessible for pretty much all cars if you can. Now, if you're that off-grid or that far beyond where you've got to have a Jeep or something to get to, more power to you. I bet you the experience is really nice, but you're severely limiting the amount of guests that are actually going to come, because who wants to go rent a car just to get out to where you are? A few people will, but not most. Now, I'm in one of my unfinished Geo Domes right now, and one expense that you probably can expect to pay, but if you didn't, then you're going to be in for a surprise, is having an exterminator on call. Yes, we're in the woods. Yes, you need to let the guests know that there's going to be tons of bugs out there, and if they have problems with that, then they probably want to avoid the stay altogether. But there are different infestations throughout the years that I'm just learning now. Now, this unit is not fully sealed, so there are a few bugs that have been crawling in. I thought I had a ladybug infestation, but there's actually a thing called orange beetles that look very much like ladybugs, and they suck. I have a few of them in the past few days because they're actually starting to live behind these struts because it's warmer in here. Now, I've been doing some things to take care of them, shop vacuum, adding lemon oil and some other things just to get them out of this place. And once it's fully sealed, I won't have this big of a problem. My exterminator is definitely gonna be able to lock down as much of this as I can to help with the bug problem overall. Keep a good exterminator probably on a monthly basis, I guarantee it. Another thing to be very conscientious of too is how are you gonna do the lawn maintenance on all this? So if you have all this land, I have a really good lawnmower that I bought, so I do some of the mowing myself. But a lot of these areas, I may not be here, things like that. There's certain specific sites that are gonna need way better lawn maintenance than others. You look around and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna have to mow over there. Well, probably not there, but you need to mow the around area, the driveways coming up, all types of different things. And the landscaping is very important for these type of places. So just have it calculated into your equations of time and money if you're gonna do the lawn mowing yourself, the lawn maintenance, if you're gonna hire somebody for some of it, get some different landscapers to tell you some prices on how much it would cost to cut a certain amount of land, and then equate that into your prices. It's gonna make way better business profit. Now, another thing that I ran into that I wasn't fully expecting, when I first viewed the property a few times, this wasn't really an issue. I've got a pretty wild neighbor on the side of that other fence. I didn't expect to put this fencing up. About $5,000 with labor and materials for about 250 linear feet of fencing.
Well, hey man, if you guys ever need anything or we get too noisy, just talk to me or talk to Pete. We'll take care of it.
Same with us. I mean, we get pretty loud over there.
Yeah, we're
Game of
busy.
Thrones, we get loud. When Khaleesi comes on, I'm like, oh, yeah.
My neighbor has a few rundown cars that he's been putting over there that I cannot get him to get rid of. He has a few dogs that bark all the time anytime they see anybody drive up. Those dogs weren't there when it happened. He's ended up having puppies and all types of things, and so I ended up building this full wooden fence all the way out there to cover up a lot of it, and it's made the site so much more peaceful and allows guests to have way more relaxation coming to it. I also put up some fake security cameras over there in the area to help deter any people thinking that they're gonna be able to get over to my property. I do have real security cameras around a lot of the place, but I also put up some fake ones over there just because my neighbor's dogs kept even trying to come over to my side of the property, so I just need different things to kind of hope my neighbor reels in his dogs and makes this place as peaceful as it possibly can be. Who wants to listen to 10 puppies barking all night? I know they're the cutest, but Jesus! Another thing you may not be thinking about too is if you're getting electric poles back to your property, or however you're trying to figure out your electric situation. Now, if you're off-grid and solar, this is probably not gonna be a problem for you. I believe that electricity and plumbing are two of the most important amenities you can have out there. So I had to cut down about 3 or 4 trees to make sure that my poles were able to get back. Was I happy to cut these trees down? No. But it's something that just had to be done, and I do have the, there they are right there. Ooh, ooh. But I do have the trees still here, and I'm gonna be able to make them into firewood and other things like that, and it's still gonna be very beneficial to the property. But realize if you're putting poles in, you're probably gonna have to cut down some trees, and it's usually about $1,000 a tree. And then last but not least, but definitely probably the least exciting topic out of all of them, is your trash pickup. You're gonna have to make sure that you have a good solid trash service out to wherever you are, or some type of method to really figure out, because guests always complain about trash stuff. It's one of the biggest things. They don't know what to do with their trash. They don't know where to put it.
They start freaking out over it.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
Have signs readily available showing where the trash goes. Have you or your cleaners on a routine to make sure the trash gets out to whatever company you're using. I'm lucky enough to have a company out here that gives me one pretty big trash can, and I get to rent it for $30 a month with 1-day pickup trash. But I'm about to add another can pretty soon, and any site that needs it, I'm just gonna have to make sure it gets out to the road. Talk with my cleaners and handymen to make sure they know the schedule of what needs to be done with this trash. So as you can see, there's plenty of things that you can always be on the lookout for with your Glamp site. A lot of these are not the most luxurious things that you want to be spending money on, but they're going to be very critical for your guests. I'm pretty much working overtime to make sure that all these things are in line, especially before the first guest comes in the new dome. Fingers crossed that all this works out. Fingers crossed that my neighbor's dogs stop barking eventually. Let me know in the comments if you had any other unexpected expenses pop up for your site or what you may be planning. Let's grow together. Till next time, peace.